Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Friday, January 26, 2018, and you're watching WGAN-TV live at noon with some special event coverage of Inman Connect New York 2018. And with us is Petra Soderling. She is the founder of Blue Sketch. Hey Petra, good to see you.
Hi, Dan. Good to see you.
And I can tell you're not at Inman Connect, so I imagine you're just back in New Orleans from your travels.
Yeah, Dan, I really wanted to say live from New York, it's WGAN TV, but it didn't work out. But I'm physically in New Orleans, but I have to tell you, I'm still mentally at Inman Connect. It was such a powerful show for me.
Yes, and I must thank you. You live streamed one of the important 3D tour events for us this week, live from Inman Connect. So you didn't get to say Blue Sketch live from New York. It's Blue Sketch founder Petra Soderling for
Yeah,
WGAN TV, but you did. You were instrumental in some of our live coverage this week. So much appreciated.
my pleasure.
Yeah, so you're back. Perhaps you've had some time to think about Inman Connect. For those who maybe have never been to Inman Connect, what's just kind of the big picture overall reaction to going to Inman Connect New York 2018?
It was my first Inman Connect. It was actually my first real estate show ever. I come from technology, so I love tech. I love real estate. I love design and all of that, but I've never actually been to a show. And I was really pleasantly surprised how technology focused it was. I'm not sure if it's just Inman or if all real estate conferences nowadays have technology as such a big part of it. And it was not just like I was thinking, it's not just real estate tech, and I don't know if there is even such a thing as real estate tech, but it was really like the same pioneering technologies that anybody uses across industries. You got your in real estate traditionally, you've had your VR and AR and 3Ds, but in addition to that, there was a lot of talk about AI, facial recognition, voice activation, IoT in the smart home section, and then even cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin was pretty much the hot topic everywhere, which was a surprise for me.
Well, that's pretty cool. So before we talk about AI, facial recognition, Bitcoin, and a slew of other kinds of way cool technologies mashed up with real estate, let's focus a little bit first maybe on 3D VR. Did you have an opportunity to attend the presentation by Matterport's CEO, Bill Brown, and GEO CV co-founder and CEO Anton Yakobenko?
I did. I took a lot of notes because it was my first show, so I was taking note of everything. Yeah, that was it. It opened the show, and I think that also tells how important 3D technologies is to everyone at Inman and in the community. That those two guys and those two companies were the companies that were selected to open the whole show. So that was pretty interesting.
Did you have any reaction to what you were seeing, or maybe you might recall some of the highlights of what you saw?
Yeah, well, it was pretty generic. So the two gentlemen kind of talked on the topics. They didn't obviously go into much detail of what their own companies are doing. But I think the interviewer asked them about next trends in general. And Anton's response was there's going to be new hardware and software which will democratize the content that 360 cameras are producing. And I thought that was an interesting word, that he would choose the word democratize, because that was another topic that I saw throughout the show, was how brokers and agents can do things themselves, cutting out the middleman, so doing things on their own. So that was kind of something that I didn't expect to see.
That was kind of an interesting. I was watching too for the live stream on WGAN TV, and I guess I would say even when I bought my Matterport camera, July of 2014, it really was the only kind of solution for capturing 3D VR. And today there's literally more than 80 different camera solutions, not all platforms, but camera solutions for capturing. And I think what Anton was pointing out is you know, devices like this, an iPhone with a dual lens, starts to add the capture capability of depth data. And I think the unkept secret is that everyone anticipates that the next generation of iPhone will include depth data capture. Opens up all kinds of possibilities for a device that we carry in our pocket being capable of capturing what we think of 3D tours today. So I think Anton has probably bet the farm for his company, GOCV, of being device agnostic for the creation of 3D tours using depth data cameras to dramatically bring down the cost of the upfront investment required. And then I think probably one of the highlights for me hearing Matterport CEO Bill Brown speak was that he actually showed a video showing a mashup of augmented reality meets Matterport. And did that resonate with you at all of what you were watching?
Yes, absolutely. So that was kind of Bill's response to the next trend, was utilizing existing 3D content in different ways. So I think he, if I understood correctly, I think he was kind of launching new file types for Matter tags. He was saying how, you can view the kitchen content on your Matter tag. That's a video format, and you can add maps and all kinds of different things to the Matter tags. But then in addition, the VR app I thought was pretty cool. It was kind of, I think what they're also trying to do is emotionally linking the people inside the house to Matterport, because right now you're really only watching Matterport when you're online. When you're actually in the house, you don't even remember that Matterport was ever there. But if you have the app, I think as a home buyer, you're emotionally kind of connected to the 3D experience as well. So it's kind of mashing the real and virtual worlds.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating because it was really for an augmented reality experience. AR was an opportunity really to augment reality by leveraging what a Matterport service provider is already creating, which is rich media tags, Matter tags within a Matterport 3D tour that might annotate a spokes. I think about it if you're in a multi-family model in a house, and the agent or broker for the property wants to say, and this kitchen, it comes with 0 refrigerators, or it comes with Viking brand, and we can upgrade, we can downgrade if you want to change the color of the countertops. And so there's an opportunity to have a almost a 24/7 story within a physical location, to be able to walk into a home and actually have video, a model, video of a spokesperson talking about what you're looking at and what is also possible. And that certainly could be floor plans from Blue Sketch, so that you get a lay of the land as you're moving through the space. So,
yeah, yeah.
so I thought that was pretty cool. I probably give props to GOCV, an emerging technology startup in the 3D space, sharing the stage with Matterport, that has received, I believe, about $70 million. So that was kind of really a probably pretty exciting, I would imagine, for Anton, for GOCV, to be sharing the stage with the CEO of Matterport for the opening tech session at Inman Connect New York 2018.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that you're back in New Orleans now, but I mean, do you even have any recollection of that augmented reality video playing and hearing any kind of hushed tones of anybody audience reaction to that?
You know what? I don't know. So I don't really know the crowd so well. Because as I said, I'm not from real estate. I think a lot of the audience were kind of interested in technology, but they weren't like wowed by the technology. They're more like rationally thinking, what does this do for me? And I think it might take some time, you know, first when you see something like that, you don't immediately go, wow, if I'm an agent. You kind of have to take a day or two thinking, like, how does this help me? And I actually, just talking about the AR, I was thinking when you were talking about the value chain where you have the agent or the broker, and then you have the Matterport Pro and the home buyer. The AR is actually a way to link the agent into the story, because when you're if the agent is in the house with the potential home buyer and the agent hands them a phone, or, you know, advises them to download the app and creates this experience for the home buyer, how they can digitally view, you know, additional information about the house, the agent is making himself or herself kind of irreplaceable in the eyes of the home buyer, that they actually have this wealth of technology and information that other agents don't have.
Yeah, that's going to be up to us Matterport service providers to figure out how to add value in this food chain so that it really doesn't become a do-it-yourself solution for agents and brokers, that we're constantly adding value. For those who've just landed from Mars on the planet Earth, Inman Connect is a real estate conference meets technology. This is they run the event twice a year, East Coast, West Coast, and it's probably the creme de la creme of agents in that are leveraging technology across the United States primarily, but even across the globe. And I should just point out about that video that Matterport played. Bill never made an announcement to say, and this app is going to be launched on this day. So this was really, I would say, showing what's possible and what's coming. He had a name for the app, but never said when it's launching. So that's probably a good thing, because sometimes Matterport announces things and they don't come out for a year or so. So good that they didn't announce it. We'll go ahead and embed that video that was played at Inman Connect in the discussion of this roundup with Petra today. So if you missed, if you weren't at Inman Connect and you didn't see our live stream, we do have the video. We'll embed the actual augmented reality meets Matterport video in the We Get Around Network forum discussion. Did you and you attended the presentation by Inside Maps? Did you have any thoughts on that presentation?
Well, to be completely honest, you just said that Matterport has a tendency to launch things and then they don't come. When I was looking at the presentation, I was kind of thinking that this pretty much looks like what they've had on their website for a while now. So I'm not sure.
We're talking about Inside Maps?
Inside Maps,
Yeah.
yes. Although I have to say, I was live streaming it and I was kind of focused on the audio and holding the camera still. So I was probably missing parts of it. But the part where they have the 3D model that's made out of the kind of the virtual tour. I think they kind of maybe relaunched that idea that you have a tour that's from the real world done with a camera, but then you can make a 3D model out of it and kind of swap out materials and paints, and you can calculate how much paint, if you repaint the room, how much paint is going to be needed and so forth. But I think if I understood correctly, what they were launching was the video. And that ties to another theme of the whole conference. Video was everywhere. And it's probably because it's easy to use. So even the non-digital natives, the baby boomer home buyers probably prefer video over 3D content.
Mm-hmm. Let's hold on video a moment, because I know that's a big topic you want to talk about. Just for a moment, I want to still stay on Inside Maps, the presentation by VP Gabe Knox on stage. I think, and Petra, I know you were helping us out streaming, so it was hard for you to concentrate because you're really focused on making sure that that our audience could actually see and experience. So we thank you for that. One of my takeaways watching that presentation was Inside Maps wants to own after the sale of the life of what happens with the Inside Maps 3D tour. And so, what I heard, my takeaway was that Inside Maps wants real estate agents and brokers to understand how they can repurpose the 3D tour for the home buyer. So, for example, if Gabe mentioned a statistic I want to say was 18% of all homeowners buy the wrong size furniture for their house. That's a huge amount of frustration of waiting, delivering, and then finding out it doesn't fit and having to send it back. And so the 3D tour created by Inside Maps is also a 3D model that has through photogrammetry, whatever that is, a process that enables measurements to be taken so that the buyer can now measure to say, oh, will the sofa fit? Will the refrigerator fit? Will the TV set fit, etc. And now to have the homeowner having utility out of the model and being able to share the model on social media to be able to ask, do you like how my sofa looks? Is this the right color? And then bringing in a social network and throughout this entire process, having the inside of having the agent's name and brand fixated. So I'd almost call this a drip campaign that the homeowner just loves having a 3D model say, I bought the house, here's what I bought, this is the furniture I got, now you can see that it fits, do you like the colors, etc. So there's this whole theme of the value of the model at the point that the sale closes. And I think many in the We Get Around Network Forum community have always perhaps thought about once the house sells, other than the agent using it to market to the next client, that the model didn't have any value. And I know, unfortunately, many members of our community have probably been deleting models and not being able to encourage their agents to use it in a post sale, which essentially would be an upsell to be able to say, hey, if you like to gift this to the home buyer, imagine that they're going to be sharing it with friends and family, and we can brand it through, for example, through WP3D models, that the agent's logo and name always, and their phone number and contact info and email is always present. So anyway, it was kind of me being a little bit long-winded here. That was kind of my takeaway, that Inside Maps wanted to own the post sale of a property as a drip campaign opportunity for agents and brokers.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's a pretty good strategic summary. And if you think about Matterport and Inside Maps, I think those two companies are kind of more advanced in this field. And you have a lot of other 360 platforms. Some of them call themselves 3D platforms, even though there might be only 360. They're kind of all just technology focused, and they're not yet concentrating on how to add value and how to look at the whole life cycle of the model. But I think you're right. That's what Inside Maps is trying to do.
Very exciting. So you started to talk about video. Video is a trend. I think we saw that Inside Maps is generating videos from their 3D tours, something that Matterport has been doing for a number of months. I think what I heard from you is that you kept hearing the word video. Can you speak to that in terms of perhaps one of those mega trends from this Inman Connect New York 2018 conference?
Yeah, so it was kind of an overarching theme everywhere. So there wasn't kind of any particular product or service that would have caught my eye. It was just kind of, that was talked about all the time. There was a quote by Brian Lewis from Compass. He was talking about video. He's making a lot of video, and he said, the video can never be just about the broker. It has to serve the client. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, I would have thought that it was the other way around, that he would have said, it's never just about the client. It's also promoting you. But he was kind of thinking agent first, and then the client has to be served as well. So I think a lot of agents are thinking about video as promoting themselves, promoting their services, promoting their value that they bring to the community and the home buyers, and then only secondarily they're selling a particular house. There was another, I forgot his name, from I think Los Angeles, someone who was doing a lot of video, really professional, high quality videos, and he was saying that they use it as a tool also to attract attention in the community. So when they go out to the streets and they have all their drones and their team and the trucks and their lights and their makeup people and everything, the neighbors kind of gather around to see, like, well, are you shooting a commercial or a movie? What are you doing here? And then, you know, he can say, oh no, I'm a realtor. I'm selling these houses. If you're interested, here's my card. And he was using video in that way.
So let's take a break just on that thought, because I you know can hear I can hear myself thinking here. Okay, you know, we all need to hire a posse to accompany us as a Matterport photographer. You know, even though it is easy, fast, and simple, or as you know, as we've learned to use our camera, that no, we don't show up by ourselves. We need to have our entourage. Our posse show up, and they need to be carrying lights and stuff that looks like something like way more than what we're doing, just so that we can make that statement as a photographer. Oh yes, you know, our client is engaged us to, you know, shoot this this house to, you know, to help home buyers get more money, the most offers faster with the least amount of stress. And we love working with this agent, so who's very successful. So if you need, if you have friends that have homes that need to be sold, you should engage them because they'll engage us. Anyway, I got carried away on that. So very funny. An entourage showing up for the video shoot for the agent, and the agent just loves telling that story, even if there's no film in the camera and there's no light bulbs in the lights or whatever. He it sounds like he was into the theatrics of it.
Yeah. So professional video is, of course, important for, you know, high quality and nice looking.
Yeah, I think our whole community would go rah rah for that, because I would say, you know, probably nearly everyone that's offering Matterport, the minimum set these days seems to be you need to do Matterport and video and photos and Blue Sketch 2D floor plans and Blue Sketch virtual staging and other Blue Sketch solutions to is just the minimum deliverable, and so I think we're all happy to hear that that the agents and brokers making the presentations at Inman are essentially saying, if you're not doing video, you have to be doing video.
Yeah.
And I just add one other thought to that, Petra, is so many people look at Matterport spaces, 3D tours, even our clients, and they say, you know, I'd like to order one of those videos. I need another one of those videos, you know. And the first few times that this happened to me, I was like scratching my head. What are they talking about? Oh, they're talking about Matterport. Oh, they think it's video. And I guess it is video. It's just a different form of video, even though we all think of it as it was created with still pictures, but we're able to move through the still pictures. And I guess a movie is actually still pictures that is, you know, so I've overthought it, you know, so I just let if our clients want to call it a video, that's fine. Yeah, happy to shoot that video for you. When do you need it? And they're not talking about what we might traditionally think of video. They're thinking of Matterport. So I think whenever you hear statistics about the you know, that it's essential that you use video, I think we need to think that we're doing video, even if it's not traditional video that we're thinking about, that Matterport, that the GOCV, that Inside Maps, that all these solutions are perceived by people, both our clients and the end users, as video.
Yeah, yeah, it is interesting, and the terminology is pretty wild out there with everything. Yeah.
Did you hear other examples of how agents or brokers are using video to make a difference?
Well, I talked about the democratization of everything in the beginning, and the kind of the do-it-yourself video was pretty big as well. So whenever there would be a session like 10 by 10 hacks that you can do, then the agents were kind of alerted and started taking notes immediately. And you had sessions where people were just listing dozens and dozens of do-it-yourself video apps, how to create the app and edit the video, and kind of use the filters, and how to distribute it, and how to do the feedback loops with the videos, and lots and lots of apps and lots of technology. But I still kind of got the sense, this is just my personal feel, but a lot of those people who were really excited about those do-it-yourself Facebook Live things and videos, they might not actually at the end of the day end up doing much of it at all, because when they go back home, it's kind of there's a big hurdle, like a big threshold of actually, if you're not a digital native, to go to the app store and download all these apps and test them and start doing the video yourself. I think in a lot of cases, the agent would be really thrilled at first of the idea of doing videos on a budget themselves, but then they might actually end up hiring a professional after all, once they realize that it's not so easy.
Yes, we often, we get around Atlanta, often gets more inbound inquiries after trade shows because people hear about Matterport, and they're not prepared to invest the time and the money to do it. They're salespeople. They have short attention spans. They want to be focused on making sales, and so we get calls after trade shows. So I think every time Inman Connect runs a trade show, that's great. I think it's super that the Matterport CEO Bill Brown takes the stage. Make sure that Matterport gets a lot of face time at the show, because that results in calls to Matterport service providers. So even if some agents decide they're going to do it themselves, ultimately there's a lot that say, no, I need to scale my business. I can't scale my business if I'm behind a camera. So I'm going to engage a photographer that's professional at doing this to do it. So, so let's see. We talked about video and some of the 3D tour companies. What else were major takeaways for you there?
There were a lot of kind of web platforms for for example, repurposing MLS content. What kind of the idea of most of these web platforms is for the agent to promote themselves. So for example, a lot of solutions where an agent can create a landing page and then just kind of pull data from their MLS and then add things on their own landing page. That type of solutions. A lot of kind of content creation and content distribution platforms for agents. And then I wanted to mention about video. There was one startup company called Savvy Homes Portal who's doing VR from video. So, they're working on kind of cutting out the 3D and 360. Just use a video and push that into VR goggles, and they're even selling branded VR goggles.
Was there much discussion of VR, virtual reality, at Inman Connect?
I think probably less. I haven't been to previous Inman shows, but not as much as I would have thought. Maybe there have been, more of that in the previous shows.
Yeah, I think, which is interesting. I seem to recall going to Inman Connect New York 3 years ago, something like that. And Matterport had just come out with virtual reality. So I showed up at the conference with my Samsung Gear VR. And at the end of the conference, I went up to Inman Connect founder, Inman founder talked to Brad about VR, and he had never seen. He had heard about VR, and literally, I was giving him a little bit of demo with the Matterport VR experience, and he made a note, and he said that day he's going to go buy VR, a Samsung Gear VR. Wanted to know what to buy. It was like his first experience. It's nice to see that the conference since then has been adding some speakers, vendors, etc., related to virtual reality. We're probably still in the early days of virtual reality, but I would imagine that you probably even heard some stories about agents using VR. I think I heard some stories about agents that are literally shipping VR devices to potential buyers so that they could walk around the house virtually. Did you happen to hear any of that? Those?
No, there
No.
were so many different streams in the room, so I didn't get a chance to attend all of them. But
Yeah. Did you get a chance to walk the exhibit area?
I did, yes, yeah.
There was I know iGuide was there, and Matterport and GOCV.
Yeah,
There was a new company, Nodal View from Europe, first time exhibiting. Did you happen to
I got my professional kind of stack of the 360 platforms are all here. So yeah,
ah,
Nodal View was, I think, one of the more interesting ones.
that's one that uses a smartphone to capture a 3D tour, yeah.
Exactly, and they're using that, what's it called, the technology where you take 3 different photos and then you overlay them to kind of make the iPhone photo to look really nice and crisp and sharp.
Yeah, so they're using HDR, underexposed, overexposed in a normal picture, and then overlapping images in order to do the stitching. So kind of the camera is essentially rotating around, taking enough images in order to form a 360 use and have it be in HDR.
Yes, and they're using the HDR also on still images. So having an iPhone with the Nodal View app, you can create the 360, but you can also take pretty nice looking still images at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it only works on iPhone at the moment, but it looks like a lot of these 360 platforms are trying to get, as you said, trying to become device agnostic, so that you can use the platform with any type of device.
Mm-hmm. And I should point out, if for our We Get Around Network Forum members, we did have WGAN-TV field correspondent Jack J on site, did an interview with Nodal View. You can see that interview in the We Get Around Network forum. It's a demo as well. Simply use the search box to look for Nodal View, NODALVIEW, or look for the tag for all the coverage, the WGAN coverage of Inman Connect New York 2018. ICNY18. That's the tag to find all the coverage, including today's discussion. What other exhibitors 3D tour related?
Well, iGuide had a lot of traffic on their stand all the time. I mean, they have it together. They got their demos, and everything's kind of thought out of, and everything works nicely.
Yeah, I should point out, just to kind of help iGuide here, because if you're a regular reader of the We Get Around Network forum, you'll know that iGuide does not sell their solution to real estate agents or brokers. And so the question is, well, why are they at Inman Connect with 4,000 real estate agents and brokers? The answer is they are doing lead generation for two things. One is for their existing network of iGuide service providers, and second is to kind of get leads for markets that they don't presently have iGuide pros, so that when they do have a iGuide pro start in that market, it comes with leads of agents that are already interested in the solution. So very, very interesting. I think if you went and visited the Matterport booth, you might have seen that they were selling as hard as they probably could cameras to agents and brokers, and offering a $300 show special, a discount on the Matterport camera if purchased by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, Friday, January 26, 2018. If you're watching this live, we've put the promo code in the We Get Around Network forum. Just search for $300. It's probably on the first or second page of the forum right now.
Then we talked briefly about the GeoCV, Anton Yakubenko's company. I just want to give a shout out. I think what they are doing, it looks really nice. It looks really sharp, wonderful, high quality images and tours. I didn't get a chance to kind of look at their demo in detail, but from what I've seen before and what I saw from the screen, standing a few feet away, just looks very, very nice and looks like they have a good offering.
Yes, yes. And we talked with Anton on WGAN-TV Live at 5 show for about 2 hours. So he gave us a great demo and discussion. GeoCV presently just in the greater New York area with plans to go national across the U.S. later this year and at some point expand beyond that. Again, using a smartphone-enabled phone that does depth data capture with a long-term view of, I would imagine, being device agnostic, but thinking that either an Android device or at some point an iPhone device that captures 3D depth data along with the photography, making it, as he described, or as you described him describing, democratization of 3D tour creation. And I probably should just add a kind of a footnote here because I think sometimes after some of us have invested, up to $10,000 in special gear. By the time you count your special iPad and your tripod and your camera case and everything else, like, oh my gosh, am I going to be competing with somebody that pays under already has a smartphone enabled, and maybe a rotator of some sort hooked up to the tripod. And I actually think this democratization is a good thing for professional photographers because it means that more people, more agents, more brokers, more verticals will be tuned into this 3D tour stuff and be seeking someone who provides the service. Not everyone wants to do it themselves and also wants the top of the line solution. So I would imagine over time as the companies like Matterport have to differentiate themselves from some of the lower cost barrier of entry solutions by coming out with solutions like Matter tags and publishing to Google Street View and having an augmented reality app that as people walk through spaces can look at the augmented version of reality. So anyway, so that I'm glad you got to visit with Anton at GeoCV.
Yeah. There was one 360 provider that I did not see on your list, which was a great list, by the way. Thank you for putting that together. It's called Vizor, V-I-Z-O-R. They had a really nice user interface. I haven't used all of the 360 platforms, but I've used some of them. And in a lot of cases, the UI for the user looks quite techy. So it can be a little scary for an agent not hugely tech savvy.
Now, I've never heard of Vizor. Were they on the startup floor? Is this?
Yes. Yeah, it's a new startup company.
Okay, startup company, and did it look like Matterport? Did it?
So they don't have a camera at all. So you can upload your own 360 images, and their technology is linking the 360 images to each other so that you can create a tour.
Okay, so kind of a do-it-yourself, self-service platform. If you go buy any 360 camera, now you can be uploading to their platform to have the 360s linked together.
Right, exactly. So
okay.
It's a little bit like Cupix, what they're doing. You can use any camera and upload your 360 tours. Except Cupix they have a lot of add-on things. You can upload the text and the 3D objects that they have. And you can do They do kind of the floor plan view for you on your behalf. Visor doesn't do any of that, but they have a really crystal clear UI.
Yep. In fact, Cupix, C-U-P-I-X, we had Scott Anderson from Cupix on WGAN-TV Live at 5. We did a 2-hour demo and discussion. So if you want to learn more about Cupix, it's been very active in the We Get Around Network forum, answering questions, etc. It's as of today, it's still totally free as a platform. Probably will launch commercially in February 2018. So if you want to read about Cupix, great demo and discussion at length, any and everything you'd possibly want to know about this platform that's launching, Cupix, C-U-P-I-X. And anything else on Visor?
No, that was it, and that was everything from my 360 stack.
Okay, cool. Anything cool on the exhibit floor that you just fell over and went, oh wow?
Well, no, I'm not easily impressed.
No, okay. And
I did take this for the We Get Around photographers. It's a service called Stilio. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. S-T-I-L-I-O, Stilio.com. It's a platform like Airbnb type of platform that connects photographers with real estate agents. So as a photographer, you can go there and kind of create a profile and find agents, and agents can find you.
Okay, cool. And any other broad strokes observations?
One thing that I didn't mention was like kind of under the do-it-yourself umbrella. They also talked a lot about data hacking. So anybody can access big data nowadays. It's available. So for example, school districts, tax information. If you can access those, you can do your own data hacking as a broker to kind of anticipate where there are going to be changes in the communities, and what's going to happen to the real estate prices and so forth.
Yes, meaning more people are buying and selling property related to the school district rearranging the boundaries of who can go to that school.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there are all kinds of pretty neat and weird statistics. For example, I think I heard someone say that farmers, or in the farm country, people change their houses every 9 years. So if you can kind of, as a broker, you go and see who bought a house 9 years ago, or actually minus 18 months. So you start contacting them like 7.5 years after they bought their house, and kind of grow your leads from those types of data points.
Yeah, I know that Atlanta, where I'm located, is one of the top 20 markets identified by Amazon for their new headquarters that will have some crazy economic impact. And I want to say it's something like 50,000 new jobs over the course of 20 years. So that's almost like the lottery for Matterport service providers, agents, and brokers, because you can imagine all the people that would need to look at relocation, relos. Imagine that, maybe Atlanta gets selected, and now agents and brokers are trying to sell property to people who are relocating, or it just seems like the need for 3D tours, for virtual reality tours. That's just one economic example. And you mentioned farmers and school districts as well. So I think that's probably a good signal for all of us to have antenna go up to say, what's going to cause people to buy or sell more property? What's the trigger point? And that you can anticipate some things when something happens. Amazon locates to Atlanta. That's something interesting. let alone for the property values for us homeowners. That would be very exciting. So anyway, Squirrel, I digressed for a moment. Petra, back to you. What other things that you want to chat about, what you saw at Inman Connect New York 2018?
Yeah, you asked if anything wowed me. Actually, yeah, there was one thing that kind of wowed me, was the use of biometrics, facial recognition, and fingerprints for safety and security types of applications. And the problem they're solving is that when an agent goes into a house, oftentimes it could be in a remote location, you don't know who you're meeting. And this applies to Matterport photographers as well. You drive out there and you're going to meet a person, you don't know who they are.
And you got $10,000 in camera gear that you're walking in,
Right,
right? Yeah.
right. So there are solutions and services out there that will help you identify the person you're meeting beforehand and run kind of background checks on them to see that if they are who they say they are. I think that was
mashed up with facial recognition technology of some sort.
Yes, you can ask them to send a photo of the driver's license, and then these services kind of take the points of your face and kind of run the data through.
Yeah, sounds like Trust Stamp.
That was Trust Stamp, yes.
Yeah, Trust Stamp happens to be shared. I'm in a We Get Around network is in a co-working space with tech entrepreneurs. About 1,000 of us, 5 floors, 103,000 square feet, and Trust Stamp is one of the companies in our building. So very exciting. I'll let the founder know that on WGAN-TV Live at 5, we were live at noon Eastern time. We were hearing that you stumbled upon his solution and thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's probably really important for real estate agents. I just can imagine, you're taking people all the time into homes, and like you don't know who they are. So what a great way to kind of pre-qualify. I think part of what his company does, it then also goes out to all social media. So it's kind of doing okay, I got a picture of Dan. Okay, let me put that out there on the web. Does it keep coming back? We get around. Can we find this person? So we have some validation of hooks into the world. So anyway, interesting. Anything else that?
No, I think we've gone through my stack of cards and brochures.
Okay, terrific. Petra, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was great.
We've been visiting with Blue Sketch founder Petra Soderling, based in New Orleans, who has been at the Inman Connect New York 2018 conference this week. And Petra has been giving us her perspective and insight, not only into all the 3D tour service providers that she saw at Inman Connect, but also some of the interesting new emerging technologies at Inman Connect. So really fascinating. Petra has been a longtime member of the We Get Around network community. Blue Sketch offers 2D floor plans, 3D floor plans, virtual staging, and yet other solutions. You can find Blue Sketch at blue, BLUE hyphen sketch, SKETCH.com, bluesketch.com. Petra, thank you again.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
And thank you all for tuning in today to WGAN TV. I'm Dan Smigrod, the founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. You've been watching WGAN TV live at noon on Friday, January 26, 2018. We have been recording the program today, so if you've missed any portion of it, by tomorrow, Saturday, we'll publish it in the forum. And again, look for the tag in the forum for all the Inman Connect news coverage, ICNY 18. That's ICNY 18. Just use the search box in the top of the We Get Around Network forum. Petra, thanks again, and you're back just in time for Mardi Gras. Is that right?
Yay!
Yay! You're in the epicenter of Party Central.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's how it is. Let's get a little a selfie here. 2 thumbs up, and we'll use this. We'll use this to post. Big smile. 3, 2. Good.
Yeah.
We'll use that to post the video. Thank you again, Petra. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy Mardi Gras.
You too, Dan. Thanks.
Okay. Bye bye.